Hi, this is Jeremy Moskowitz, and in this video we're going to use PolicyPak Cloud's in-cloud editors to create browser router routes so that you can get to the right browser to the right website lickety-split. So what you should probably do first is to create like a little text file, just sort of knowing where you're headed, make your little map. So for instance, if I want everything in Mozilla.org to always open in Firefox, Google Chrome and so on, hey, you're off to the races. So that's what I'm going to do. So let me show you how I got here in the first place. So I'll just go ahead and close this out. So here I am in the PolicyPak Cloud universe. If I go click on a group, like my work from home group, and I want to create and link a new policy here, I can then pick the policy type. So we've got all the Microsoft group policy stuff, all the PolicyPak things, and we're going to focus here on Browser Router. Okay. So in Browser Router, you can put all your ideas into one big policy if you want to, or you could break it up into different policies. That's your choice. I'm going to call this PPBR Demo 1 here, and I'm going to create a new policy. So if I create a new policy here, the first thing you might want to do is set your default browser. So for instance, if you want to start off life and just say, hey, Chrome is our default browser, that's great. Or if later you want to go from Chrome to Edge or Firefox to Chrome, whatever you want to do, you could do that. We also have a special one called user selectable. We have a special video on user selectable, so go ahead and watch that if you want to understand how a user can make their own choice. Same thing with custom. Custom is a little bit special as well, but I'm going to just stick to the basics here, and I'm going to show you Chrome first, and then I'll transfer over to Edge after that. So I'll go click on save here, and bang, I've just set my default browser to Chrome. The next thing I want to do is I'm going to create a new policy, and this is just a standard browser router policy. And this is where you get to make your wishes. So if we go back to our notepad file here, we want mozilla.org to go to Firefox. Great. You can give it a name like all things Mozilla to Firefox. And the URL can be very specific, or you can make it a wildcard. I actually like wildcards quite a bit. So if you want to say star Mozilla star to go to Firefox, okay, and bang, there you go. All right, and you just got to click save, and you're off to the races. Maybe the next thing that we'll do is we'll go ahead and create a new policy here. Another one, new browser router policy. Let's see what's next on the list. Google go to Chrome. Okay, even though that's our default, we're going to force it anyway. So we can say all Google to Chrome. Okay, go do that. And we'll do wildcard star, Google star, and Chrome. And it's good to have this set because if we change the default browser later to Edge, at least you know Google will always continue to go to Chrome and not say to Edge. Okay, go to that. And then next on the list, why don't we just jump to something unusual? PolicyPak.com. Okay, we want to do Internet Explorer in Edge mode and set IE 8 mode at the same time. Woo, that's a tall order. What are we going to do? So let's go ahead and go to new policy here, new browser router policy, and we'll call this PolicyPak example site. Okay, and if you want to use Internet Explorer special modes, you have to give it an exact URL. Now, I'm going to go ahead and give it http:// or https //polycypak.com. And actually, it should work without the HTTPS before it, and it should also work without the www before it. That's all the same here. And then if I were to go to browser mode and go to Internet Explorer 8, and I want to open it up in IE in Edge tab, okay, very good. I'll go ahead and click save here. And there you go. Let's see what else do we want to do here. Whoops. What else do we want to do here? Let's go to Microsoft.com for Edge. So we'll go to new policy, new browser router policy. So MS to Edge. That's easy. We'll just go to wildcard. Actually, we can just do specific. So we'll go to Microsoft.com. So we'll do HTTPS Microsoft.com. We'll go to Edge. There we go. And what's our last guy here? Our last guy is MSN.com to Internet Explorer in standalone mode. Okay, so let's do that. So we'll go to a new policy here for browser router. So MSN to IE standalone. Okay, so that's going to be MSN.com, Internet Explorer. Keep that, but we're going to open it in IE standalone mode. And whew, okay, we did all the things. We go ahead and click OK, and now we're locked and loaded. For our work from home machines, we've got our browser router stuff set up. So this computer is already ready to rock. He is joined to PolicyPak Cloud, and all we're going to do is run ppcloud/sync, or you can wait about an hour and then you're off to the races. So what we're going to do is we're just going to make sure we got the setting that, yep, there we go. PolicyPak Browser Router, Demo 1. Usually you have to count to about 10 seconds. And there are a couple of caveats the very first time that somebody gets some browser router routes. What happens is that browser router needs to install some of our little helper stuff. So just be aware that the very first time, there's a little bit of a runway to sort of kind of get started. But we'll start off in Chrome land. We're going to see if the Chrome extension pops into view here. We'll give it a second or two to kick in. There we go. New background app added. You only see this the very first time. Okay, and we're off to the races here with Chrome land. So let's go ahead and see what happens. If we were to go, let's say if we wanted to Google for Mozilla. Okay, it's Google for Mozilla. That's totally great. Google all day long, but when it's time to actually go to mozilla.org, what's going to happen? Close the wrong browser and open up the right browser. Just like that, which is mozilla.org. If we wanted to go from Firefox over to Google, what are we going to do? We're going to close the wrong browser and open up the right browser, just like that. Once again, that worked perfectly. And if we were to be in this browser and we wanted to Google for PolicyPak, that's all fine. PolicyPak. That's all fine. You're allowed to do that. But when you click on PolicyPak, that's where you should open up the correct browser. And we said this browser is going to be Edge, but not just Edge, Edge in Internet Explorer mode. And so you notice that doesn't happen right away. Now there's a little bit of a hang time for Internet Explorer to realize that it can do this function. It's in the documentation for Internet Explorer, and it's a 65-second first time. But you know what? You're a busy IT professional. You don't have 65 seconds. So if you know this little magic trick, which is where you can go to Edge //compat/enterprise, you can actually kind of give it a little boost. Okay, and you can say, hey, give it to me anyway, and you can force an update, and once you do that, you should be off to the races. So let's try that one more time. We'll go to Chrome land. Okay, we'll go Googling for PolicyPak. Okay, let's do that one more time. We'll Google for PolicyPak, and then Googling's fine. That's totally fine, but when you click on it, what do we want to do? We want to open the right browser, which we said is going to be Edge, but with Internet Explorer mode, and also set it to IE8. So let's see if we do all the things. Here we are. We're in Edge. You can see Internet Explorer mode, and we are Internet Explorer 8, doing all the things. Now, what happens for things where we don't have a route? Well, that's going to go to your default browser. So I don't have a route set up for, say, Amazon.com. So when I go to Amazon.com, it's going to go to my default browser. Well, what is that? Well, we set it to be Chrome. Let's go ahead and see that. Yep, there it is. We can see Chrome opens up and doing what we expect. If we take a look from the user's perspective of default browser here, go to default browser, choose a default web browser. What we will do is we take over, PolicyPak takes over being the default browser, and you can see, hey, it says browser router. What's that? That's too confusing for your users. That's not a problem. What we can do is change that with, we'll go back over to PolicyPak Cloud, and here's our browser router policy. We'll click Edit Policy here, and we can add what's called a new look and feel policy. So if you want to, you can say managed by your IT department, okay, whatever you want. And then you can also display the default browser name in parentheses if that's interesting for you. So then you can go ahead and click OK. And while we're here, why don't we also change the default browser from Chrome to Edge? Maybe you're migrating in that direction. That's totally fine. Great. So let's set both of these things up at the same time. We'll go ahead and click OK. We'll go back to our endpoint machine here and run PolicyPak Cloud/sync. Okay, and again, count to 10 after you get the latest policy. Make sure it kicks in, and then you can check both things. So we can check, the first thing we can do is we can check the default browser. Whoops, default browser here. Choose a default web browser. Let's see if our new look and feel policy took in. Yep, managed by our IT department, Microsoft Edge. And then lastly, we said when we click on Amazon to go to our default browser, what's that going to be now? Well, we've just changed it over for our work from home people from Chrome to Edge, just like that. Okay? Okay, so with that in mind, this is how quickly and easily you can get Browser Router up and running for your non-Domain Joy machines or even your Domain Joy machines, no matter where they are, using PolicyPak Cloud. I have one more little magic trick I want to talk about, which is taking existing on-prem directives. Okay, if you already have some, like in this example in my MMC console, I've already got similar stuff in Browser Router. That's great. If you want to, you can take your collection, right-click, View as XML in Notepad, take a look at all the things you've done with your on-prem console. You can copy that. You can then go back to PolicyPak Cloud, and maybe for my West sales team or something, I want to not create and link a new policy, but I want to upload and link a new XML here, okay? And what we'll do is when you paste it into this block, we're going to recognize all that as Browser Router directives. So we do ppbr from on-prem, okay? And we go ahead and click Add here. Now, we've done all the things. So if you like to use the on-prem MMC editor, okay, that's totally great. You can use that and then just do the work there. Do your small-scale tests with your Domain Joy machine, if that's what you want to do, and then take those directives and slam them into PolicyPak Cloud just like that. Once you've done that, if you want to edit it later, you're more than welcome to using the in-cloud editor, so that way you can take your on-prem directive, if you have them, bring them to PolicyPak Cloud, and continue to edit them here in PolicyPak Cloudland. Hope this video helps you out. Looking forward to getting you started with PolicyPak Browser Router and PolicyPak Cloud real soon. Thanks so much.